Hello everyone, I'm Devasis Mamgai, joining from India. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Communicate, which is a AI chatbot-based customer support automation software. So in this talk, we are going to discuss about chatbot versus humans and what does a customer prefer. So before we get into the chatbots, let's take a look at the importance of customer experience. In customer experience, there are two parts. One is where a company loses the revenue if the customer experience is not good, and another is if the customer experience is good, the company increases their revenue and they add more and more, customers. Now, based on a survey, 89% of consumers move to a competitor after having a bad, customer experience. And in US alone, there's a $75 billion loss due to poor customer support. 69% of the consumers, they recommend company to their friends and their network following, a good positive customer experience. And 84% organizations have reported an increase in their revenue just by improving the customer service. So the customer experience, customer service is one of the most important part for any organization. Now, every organization wants to have a good customer experience, but how do they do that? Like, what are the challenges that an organization faces in having a good top quality customer experience? So one challenge is, which is which holds true for the current time, is nowadays we as a customer, we no longer wants to wait for an email or hold a phone line, right? So, and we are, as of today, we are living in a world of instant gratification, and our customers are also expecting the same from us. And today, with internet penetration, more and more companies are reaching millions of users faster than ever. And with that in mind, like, how do you scale your customer support so that you can support that many user bases in a short period of time, and in an efficient manner and in a more personalized manner? So that scaling is very tough for any company to scale their support to that level, to support that many millions of users. Now, the solution for this, so chatbots emerged as a solution for this, like where everyone thought that, like the companies were very positive that chatbots are going to automate everything and the customer experience will get automated. And then there was another part of it where people thought that chatbots are a threat to, there are millions of people who are working in customer support and service, as a customer support and service reps, and people thought it's a threat to their jobs. And in US alone, there are 2.9 million people who are working in the customer service industry. Now, these were the these were the hopes and the threats that we had with the emergence of the chatbots. And then companies started automating their customer experience. They launched the chatbots to their products, and when the reality came in, it was not as per the expectations. So, like, this is one of the example of the reality check. So when all the companies started bots, and the bots were not that trained, and the bots were not that smart enough, and it ultimately led to bad customer experience. Like, these are some of the examples. We have one of the airline, the customer's baggage was sent to a different city, and the customer was flying to a different city, and the customer posted something, and the bot was not able to understand the sarcasm used by the customer as such, and that ultimately leads to a bad customer experience. Now, there are cases where the bots usually fail. Like, if you have some angry customer and they are very upset, that's not the right time where you put them into an automated system. And if there are very urgent matters, such as payment issues, and like if there are very urgent things that the customer needs right now, in such cases customers prefer to have a direct conversation with someone. And whenever the queries are very complex, and the bots is not able to understand it, that's when the need for human agents come to the picture. And then when we talk about chatbot, different use cases, there are low risk use cases, and then there is a high risk use case. The low risk use cases are, for example, e-commerce. There's a bot which is recommending you the next product, more products to buy. And so these are the low risk use cases. On the other hand, if you're talking about, let's say, healthcare industry, if there's a bot which is, giving suggestions to a patient, right, and is answering patient's query, there is a high risk that if the bot's accuracy is not that good, and if the bot gives any wrong advice to a patient, that will be, very risky. So there are cases where the bots, fits perfectly, and then there are cases where, we need to be very, very cautious if we are planning to use bots. And then there are cases where the human agents are not, able to catch up with a lot of stuff. For example, if there are like a lot of queries suddenly, let's say there's an event and there are a lot of queries just started coming, and you have only limited people in your support, and your volume today is, let's say, higher than your usual volume, there will be delays in the response time. And all the customer experience, customer support, it all requires 24/7 availability, especially if your product is a global product, that will require 24/7 availability. And that's going to be tough, because then you need to have people across different geographies, you need to have people across different geographies, and to support that 24 hours window. And when it comes to multitasking, we are not good at, like multitasking, although the bots can, handle 1,000, 10,000 lakhs of queries at the same time, but we cannot do that. We can only handle probably two or three, max two or three concurrent chats at the same time. And then there has to be a, consistency in the responses that we are, sending to our users, and it needs to have the same tone, same language, and all. So if we talk about the benefits of, chatbots and human agents, there are, chatbots have certain benefits, and then the human agent has, certain have certain benefits. If we talk about the bots now, the bots can help you reduce your operational cost, and the cost can be, reduced by a major margin. Let's say, if the bots are able to automate 80% of your support queries, so roughly you can reduce your, support cost by 70 to 80%. And the bots can provide you a faster response time, to your end users, which will make them happy that they're able to get the information way faster than before. And of course, the bots are 24/7 available. There is no downtime. They don't go to sleep, right? So it has 24/7 availability. And when it comes to human agents, we humans have empathy, right? We can understand when a customer is in pain, the customer is in trouble. We can understand that, and we can, handle such things more, in a more better way than what the bots can handle. And if there are the issues are very complex, it requires, let's say, coordinating with different departments, like a lot of things, then the human agents are the best to handle such issues. And one of the most important is the relationship building. For any, customers, the relationship building is one of the most important part. You can automate, whatever you want to automate, but the relationship building has to be done by the human agents. Like, we need to do the relationship building with our, customers, and we cannot let the relationship building part to be automated. So the customer preferences, if we talk about customer preferences, 46% of US users still prefer to talk to a human agent rather than a chatbot. Of course, this number is increasing every year, because the chatbot technology is also advancing. And in 2018 study, like 50% of the people in UK said that they would prefer to speak with a person. And that's the same, like more or less that's the same across the globe. And 23% of consumers, they still prefer to have a face-to-face interaction whenever, there is a high complexity or payment disputes, or something urgent is there. So when the chatbots came, there was a hype around the chatbots. There was a huge expectations from the industry, and then we saw the reality, and then after that there's a lot of technological advancement which has happened in the last 5 to 10 years in the industry, and that has now taken the chatbots to a slightly higher level than before, but we are still not yet there. Like we are still there's still a lot of innovation required on the NLP part, on the AI part, to reach the place where we can say, okay, now we have more than 95 percent things covered through the automation. So the rise of NLP, NLP is like basically natural language processing. So NLP is what allows the chatbot to understand, the messages and responds accordingly. The advancements in the NLP and the chatbot space, it started from like 1950 when Alan Turing published Computer Machinery and Intelligence, and after that there are some bots. People have created different bots like Eliza. Elise was launched in like 1995 and won certain awards as well. And then in 2010s we saw like Siri, Google Now, Alexa, and then there are like a lot of bot like virtual assistants which are available in the market. And in 2020s we will see a lot of all of these technology will advance, and we are going to see a lot of virtual assistants, conversational AI interfaces, and everything to be embedded within the product, to be embedded in mobile apps, WhatsApp. We have already started seeing it, and that will happen. That where the bots and AI will be across all the platforms, whether it's your website, WhatsApp, Facebook, and a lot of other places. So what does the future hold? So in by 2023, it's expected that chatbots are going to save 5 billion hours of us. And by 2023, in banking, healthcare, and retail sector, we are expecting to save like $11 billion annually. By 2025, the chatbot market is going to be huge. It's going to be like estimated to be $1.2 billion like globally. And by 2025, we are expecting that AI will power 95% of the customer conversations, whether it's happening on your voice, on your telephone, or on your chats, or other places. So that's what the expectation is by 2025, where we are expecting 95% of the interactions will be automated. We can see it is still not 100%. And that is the gap. For that 5% is where the human agents are going to play a role. So that's why we believe that it's not chatbot versus a human agent, and chatbots can never replace human agents, and they are meant to be working as a team where they both need to complement each other's. And once the chatbot and human agents work together, the chatbots can reduce the human agents workload, and the human agents can get involved in much more complex challenges, much more intelligent work, and in the customer relationship building. And that's where the human agents will also grow in that. So that's what we believe in. So it's not chatbot versus human, it's chatbot plus human as a team. And that's what our customers are going to love, with that they have instant responses through the bots, and if bot fails to answer it, they have a human agent who is available for them to answer their queries and to provide them a good customer experience. Thank you. That's all from my side. For any questions, please send your questions onto the panel, and yeah, we'll be happy to answer. And if anyone wants to connect with me after the event, yeah, I'm available on my email ID. I've just shared it here. Thank you